Ethereum is doomed and it's Wall Street's fault. But what is the next move for Ethereum? Is this a life-changing opportunity, or is this coin going even lower because Wall Street is rejecting it? Does that mean you should reject it? I'm your host, DZ. We're going to look at what the heck is going on here because Ethereum is actually one of the biggest losers in the entire crypto market cap. It is down over 6%. It has been a very bloody weekend for Ethereum. But what are the next levels and why is Wall Street rejecting? What are you talking about, DZ? They're rejecting it. Well, folks, it is the ETFs is the culprit here. The ETF flows are now at an all-time low, meaning they have an Ethereum ETF product. There's a Wall Street product you can buy where you can have exposure to Ethereum, and they're dumping it because they're selling the grayscale futures base that have been converted to spot ETH. Now, it sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but let's just say Wall Street is not buying any of these Ethereum ETFs, and they've been selling them to the tune of $562 million worth of outflows. Now, it's good to have an ETF, but if there's no demand, then these issuers will start to close down the product, meaning these issuers, these Wall Street banks, will no longer sell Ethereum ETFs. Folks, this post was from yesterday. Fast forward to today, and what did I see? Breaking news from Kyle Chassie here. Van Eck just canceled their ETH futures ETFs. Now, what does this mean? Is it doomed? And what is the next level? We're going to be answering that, but let's look into Van Eck deciding to liquidate. What does this actually mean here? Well, a complete abandonment of these ETFs. That is right. This is bad news. It is thought that the company may have made a decision due to not receiving certain returns, and whether this decision will expand remains a matter of curiosity. So they are actually canceling their futures-based ETF. They still have this spot-based ETFs. Now remember, folks, when the news first emerged that we're going to have a spot Ethereum ETF, ETH was close to $4,000. And when you look right now, hovering around this $2,200 level, very, very close to $2,000. It is not where we want to be. Now, when you look at the max chart, you can see we have not even come close to our previous all-time high. We were pretty close to $5,000, around $4,800, and we barely broke above $4,000. And this was in March when Bitcoin was very bullish. So you might be feeling very bearish on your Ethereum bags. Maybe you got an old bag. Maybe you've been sitting on it for a while. Maybe you're wondering, when is this bag going to pump? Is it going to pump? Well, Ryan Sean Adams has some advice for you. He is definitely known as an ETH maxi here, and he says he has seen ETH sentiment this bad 3 times before. 2016, it was after a DAO hack, and they said smart contracts will never work, and tokens were going to be the killer app. Very bearish on ETH at the time. Then in 2019, the 2 years of bleeding, meaning they had 2 years of losing value against Bitcoin. And they said Ethereum was a worthless gas token, but DeFi was building. And then fast forward to today, this is the 3rd time you've seen it this bearish. 2024, a half cycle of underperformance, again, meaning it hasn't performed nearly as well as Bitcoin. And they're saying ETH is old tech and L2s are parasitic, meaning the layers building on top of Ethereum are taking some of the attention and taking some of the money, but Ethereum is on the cusp of becoming a federated union of chains. It is once again unpopular to believe ETH is money. This is a lovely opportunity. Contrarian bullish is how you earn the gains. That is right, folks. It pays to be right when others are betting against you. It doesn't really pay to be right when everybody's agreeing with it. So everybody likes Bitcoin. Well, there's not that many gains to be had with Bitcoin, but if everyone's dumping on ETH, there is opportunity with ETH. Now, as I promise you, we're going to look at the charts, look at the next levels. I want to give a big shout out to Nilesh Rohila for putting this on my radar. He's a crypto trader and market researcher here. So let's go into the charts. So we're going to be looking at this bullish triangle on the daily chart, but I'm going to be looking at the 4 hour. So we're zoomed in a little bit here. And folks, you can see we hit the bottoms of this line. So when we zoom out to the weekly, you can see this is a very long trend. This is going all the way back to 2020. And so we've been just bouncing along this line. Let's go back to the 4 hour. And you can see right now we're on the cusp of holding on for dear life. So ETH is definitely at a make or break moment. But I am predicting that I think it's just more likely than not, ETH is going to break to the upside. When we go back, you can see they have tested this line several times in the past. This is June 22. It hit again around November 22. And we recently hit it in October 23. And then we recently just touched on it again. Now, this keeps acting as support. And I'm just going to say I think it's going to keep acting as support. But what does the move look like to the upside? I think these are the gains that you can expect with Ethereum. So if you buy now at these bargain basement levels, what kind of upside are you looking at? How about a 72% pump? I do think there's going to be, maybe some faster horses, but I don't think there's that many coins where if everything hits the fan, I can't think it's going to go too much lower. And sure, I think Bitcoin could go to a lower level, and I think ETH could go to a lower level. But with Bitcoin and ETH, when it goes to a lower level, we're looking at a 10, 20% drawdown, maybe 30%. Some of those altcoins are going to fall 70, 80, 90%. And so while Bitcoin and ETH fall 10, 20%, some of your favorite coins are going to fall a lot harder than that. So ETH, the upside might only be 75%. The downside is going to be a lot smaller as well. So it's just a little bit of a relatively safer bet in the crypto market compared to a small cap altcoin. But I don't want to just give you the upside potential here. I also got to tell you the downside potential. If we head to a lower level, I think there's going to be an important level of support, and it's just going to be actually this previous wick right here. When we draw out a horizontal line right here at this level, you're going to see we have hit against this level previous in the past. And to me, this is just kind of looking pretty important, and you can just see it's been important in the past, probably going to be important in the future. So I would just look, another, $100, $150 to the downside, probably close to what you're looking at here. Now, that's only a little bit to the downside. There's got to be a scarier level, right? Well, this is where it gets real scary, folks. If we fall below $2,100, $2,000 is going to be a psychological level. But folks, it can drop a lot farther than that. I would be looking at, maybe $1,000 is going to be the next level of support. You can see it's very important around here, very important around here. ETH does like to bounce around $1,000. So that's what I would be looking at here. Not only that, it was pretty close to where it got rejected in the 2017, 2018 bull run. Now, I don't think it's going to fall to 1,000 if we lose $2,000 as support. But these are some of the scary scenarios you got to prepare for, so you have that dry powder on the sidelines. Well, folks, that's my ETH prediction for you. I do think we are going to break to the upside before we go to the downside here. That is very strong support. And so you could be looking at a 75% pump in the short terms here. That's what I got, and hopefully I'll see you in your ETH bags. Don't get shaken out. I can see you at the top.